Hello, I am Mr. Mark Spineweber. I am in quarantine in Ohio, but I'm still lecturing away here. Thank you for your interest in our school. This past year I've been teaching philosophy at St. Michael Academy. I hold a Master's of Arts in Philosophy from Franciscan University of Steubenville, and I think that um, displays my Catholic credentials sufficiently for this purpose. Anyway, this lecture you're about to watch is from the sophomore philosophy course, Foundations of Medieval Philosophy. So we've spent the past semester building up the foundations of medieval philosophy, as the title of the course may suggest, studying Plato, a lot of Plato, and then doing Aristotle. We did an intro to Aristotle using Mortimer Adler, and then we studied Aristotle's Politics. And now we are going to start into medieval philosophy proper, and we'll be reading The Consolation of Philosophy by Boethius. So this is perhaps the most influential work of medieval philosophy to the medievals. That perhaps today we look upon a work like Thomas Aquinas' Summa as the most influential work of Catholic philosophy of our time from the past. To them, this late Roman work of Christian philosophy was their Summa, so to speak. It had that same massive cultural influence. So, uh, so this is eminently appropriate for a classical and Catholic school. We're looking at a classical source from late Rome. We're looking at a primary source. Um, we're not just looking at a summary out of a textbook, which may be biased or inaccurate. We're looking at what the man himself said. And of course, this fits into the Catholic approach in that we're studying classical Catholic philosophy. Now, you don't have to study Catholic philosophy per se to do it as a Catholic. Um, Most philosophy throughout history hasn't been Catholic. After all, we have all the pre Catholic philosophy and then all the post Catholic philosophy. But so even if we don't read Catholic literature, we read it as Catholics. So this piece of instruction we're dealing with here, we looking. This particular lecture is a brief overview of the Consolation of Philosophy and the life of Boethius. So we're just taking a bird's eye view of what this is about. And what this book is about, it's about Boethius, who is considered a martyr. He is languishing in prison, awaiting his execution by the Arians, and he starts despairing of his fortunes. And Lady Philosophy appears to him and starts consoling him with philosophy. And it's sort of a stoic work. We have to accept fate. We have to accept the turn of fortune, even though it's not in our favor. And we have to realize that when bad things happen to good people, it's a way for good people to become better. They're not being punished. And when the wicked prosper, it's not because they're living good lives. They are living bad lives. They're just prospering materially while their souls are suffering. And also, too, we look at the question of free will. So, wondering if God has planned all of this for us, if it's all under God's providence, then why did the good suffer? Why did the good suffer? And also, how do we have free will? So it's sort of dealing with two very difficult questions that I think you should think about when you're in high school. You know, just minor stuff. Like, why is there evil in the world? Why does God allow it? And do I even have free will? Just little questions, easy stuff. And so we'll go through this work, lecturing on it, doing reading assignments, and discussing the main ideas of it. So this is getting students to think about important questions that maybe they would not have thought of otherwise if they hadn't studied in a classical Catholic environment. So I thank you again for expressing interest in our school, and if you are interested in sending your student here, I would recommend it if you want to get them thinking about questions beyond simply just the usual high school material. This is stuff I didn't touch until I was in college, and I would have been really lucky if I had gotten to study it in high school. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the lecture.